Hey everyone, welcome back to the Contractor Growth Network Podcast. I'm Logan Shinholster, and today we're actually joined in studio, which we have probably only done a couple times, but we have Barry Gant and Lynn, both from 7 Day Kitchens. They're a client of ours here at CGN, and they have a very cool, unique business model. I think the name says it, but Barry, founder, owner, can you talk to me about what is 7 Day Kitchens? What are you guys all about?
Sure. So 7 Day Kitchens is a complete kitchen remodel from floor to ceiling in 7 days or less. Brand new everything. Brand new flooring, cabinets, countertops, backsplash, appliances, paint, new lighting, all done in 7 days. And we guarantee that. And that's part of our unique selling proposition, is that what contractor are you talking to when a homeowner's talking to a contractor that says, we'll guarantee our completion date? None of them do it. So that's what we set out to do, is come up with a process that gets us from day one to day done in 7 days, where everybody's happy with the project.
So to kind of address the elephant in the room, high level, like, how do we do it? Because everybody's probably wondering, 7 days, that sounds great, but like, I remember when you guys first engaged with us, and you're here in Charlotte, so we sat down, the whole thing was like, can you guys actually do it? Or is this really just like, you're refacing some cabinets in 7 days and we're good?
So we get a lot of that skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people believe that either we're just refinishing cabinets, or, we got some fairy dust that we sprinkle around, put lipstick on a pig kind of deal. But everything we do is full tear out remodel. I would say 90% of our success with that happens on the front end. All the planning. We'll spend 4 to 6 weeks planning a job from demo to done. And once it's on a schedule and set, that's the way it goes down. And so essentially all we've done is we've taken out a lot of the downtime between subs or tradespeople on a job.
So basically it's just what we brought up before was like, we're removing the gaps, if you will.
Yeah.
To make it a more efficient process. Because I was bringing up, a couple projects I've had at my house is like we schedule out X amount of time for a demo, and reality is, I think on our bathroom project, they have like 3 or 4 days of demo, and they were done that day. So then we just sat there for 3 days going, well, what's next? And they were like, well, come Monday, this is who's going to come in next. So it's a lot of that, it seems like.
Yeah, there is a lot of that goes on for sure. And it just comes down to planning.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right people, you got the right tradespeople, everybody's on board with the system, they know what the expectations are. My guys know 6 weeks in advance that they got a job coming. So there's no excuse for them not to be there, period.
Sure.
And so once we've taken all this time out of the process, it allows us to move super fast through everything, because we're just stacking.
Mm-hmm.
It's take care of this, take care of that, and literally by the hour for the week, we got it all mapped out.
That's crazy. I remember there used to be like this old, well, it's now defunct, but like 10 years ago, it was like the American Football League. If you remember that, where they tried it, and they're like, CEO, basically he had his schedule mapped out by 15-minute increments from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., where everything was like, I think like they knew his like bathroom schedule to be able to like block that in to like, all right, 8:15, we know what we're doing. So it was like super dialed in, and I was like, that's crazy, but like,
but we're retentive when it comes to time. Like there's no need for there to be any downtime. We've proven that you don't need this downtime between trades, 3-4 days of doing nothing. And that's how, a project that takes us 7 days takes another contractor 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Is because they're planning one thing a week, and they're not going to plan the next thing until the one thing is done. So once demo is done, then they're going to schedule the electrician. Well, that's why the electrician didn't show up at your house for 5 days.
Yeah.
Ours isn't like that. Everybody is on site for the week.
And I know before 7 days was a thing, you actually had, it was Gant Remodeling, right?
Yeah, close. Gant Design and Build.
Gant Design Build. On when you joined, were you here for a Gant Design Build, or were you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had to go through the bad part to get to the good part. Yeah. So, I used to deal with, we did outdoor projects. So, screen porches, things like that, decks. And so it was weather based. If there was bad weather, it just slow you. It put you to a halt. And you're on some of these projects for 2 or 3 months, and you show up. I managed the projects I also sold, and you show up, and at first everybody's excited to see you. By month 2, they're avoiding you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see you coming, you're kind of avoiding them, right? And that's what I love about this is you don't have to worry about that. You can go into a project, if the homeowner's there, they're happy to see you. They want to talk to you. They want to talk about what's going on in the project. They're just happy. And they're happy at the beginning, happy at the end.
They're even happier at the end.
Yes. It's wonderful. The other thing that Barry, I don't think mentioned is we always work with the same subs, right? And we have a dedicated project manager. Yes, it's great to have people that you work with all the time and you can depend on them, but it's always good to have somebody who is responsible for that project.
Sure.
And so we have a dedicated project manager, and now he has an assistant. So if somebody needs to run a Lowe's, he doesn't have to leave the job site. The assistant can run the Lowe's or get whatever little things be gotten.
So let's talk about, like, how do we come up with this? Because is this like, did you guys start to see, okay, we're doing some exterior projects, we're doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, we like kitchens, let's do kitchen remodeling, and then, let's see if we can like piece it into 7 days? Or like, I guess, what was the mindset? Because you guys almost worked backwards from what clients really want and said, how do we do it?
So as Gant Design and Build, we were primarily an exterior construction company dealing with the weather. That's what prompted us to think about doing interior remodeling, because you can't stay on a schedule when Mother Nature is the one who's in control. So all of our customers who experienced us as Gant Design and Build wanted an interior remodel job too. They're like, well, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? We always said no, because we knew we were spending a couple of months outside building a big project, what that would feel like being indoors in someone's house. And we'd heard all the horror stories. But a friend of mine, we were just chatting one day, and he was telling me he's going all in on kitchen remodeling. I was like, that's great. And he's like, and here are all the benefits of it. I can put it on a schedule. It's interior work. We can plan better, do more, take advantage of the time that we have to sell. And so I started looking into it. We were still getting a lot of people asking us to do kitchens. And finally I said, yeah, I'll try one. Our first kitchen took us 5 weeks. I told him it'd take 7 days. It took 5 weeks. So it was a big learning curve. Our second kitchen, 5.5 days.
What was the difference between, or is that like, basically this took 5 weeks, let's remove the gaps, and that's how you did 5.5 days?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We mapped it out. Like, okay, we got time here. This time could have been filled with the electrician or the rough plumbing, or maybe there's some HVAC work that needed to be done. So we were able to identify all that and compress all that time down into a week. And 9 out of 10 jobs are done in 5.5 days. So we've continued to even refine it even more to make it an even tighter schedule. And that's just part of process improvement. Like, you just got to keep working on it. It's never going to be perfect.
And when Barry comes to you and goes, hey, we're going to sell a kitchen, and I want to tell him we're going to do it in 7 days, like, what is your first thought? Because, like, to me, if I'm the homeowner, I'm going, that's crazy. Maybe a couple weeks, but like 7 days is nuts. So I guess, like, how did that like lean on you?
Nuts too. Yeah, I thought he was nuts too. Honestly, I didn't think it could be done. He was sure of it, and since he was sure of it, I was like, okay, then he's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy. I've known him a long time, and it just took to that first 2, and I was like, well, there it is. It can be done, and now it's been done over and over and over and over again. And it's just a wonderful thing to see. It's great. I love working for this company because, as I said earlier, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Subs are happy. Homeowners happy.
Yeah.
We're happy. It's been a great business. And I don't know, there's a lot of construction companies out there that can say that about how their sphere of influence on a job, that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it starts to go with like once the homeowner's unhappy, all the steps can
Everybody.
feel it, and you know, like I remember, and this was like the big thing of like, so growing up, like my dad was a pond and water feature contractor, and his whole thing was we start every job on a Monday, so you basically knew which Monday your project was going to start on.
Yep.
Most of them were probably going to be smaller jobs, 4 days, big jobs, 8 business days. So you're either going to have a pond, beautiful pond in your backyard done in either that week or the following week. But it was like not a huge percentage, but there was a percentage of the jobs every single summer that when you would plug that waterfall in, they would cry. And it was like this like move that bus feeling where like with you guys, you know, you do this thing in 5.5 days. I mean, are the homeowners moving out or not moving out, but are they like going to Disney World for a week and then coming back and it's like done?
yeah.
Some do.
About half leave.
Uh-huh.
They'll go on a vacation. They come back to a brand new kitchen. They love it.
And that's like that move that bus, you know, moment for them where like, otherwise you kind of lived it the whole time. And by the end of it, you're like, this is a great kitchen, but man, I went through like Vietnam to get this thing done. And then, you know, with you guys, they go to Disney World and they come back and it's like done.
Done. The Levingoods went on vacation, and when I talked to them, both of them, she was heavily involved in the process. He travels a lot for work. So he went on vacation with her. He wasn't working, so he had no idea what to expect when he got back. And he said, I was blown away. He's like, I couldn't believe it. He thought when we got back, it was just maybe going to be partially done or whatever. And it was completely done. They were both just like, this is amazing.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That's real.
Yeah.
And like when you're doing these kitchens, like, you know, we talked about the scope of it. Like this is also like you guys would move like a load bearing wall, like you'll do reconfigurations, you open walls up if need be. This is not just the cosmetic, which even cosmetically, you know, you update backsplash countertops, cabinets, even that in 5.5 days is still very solid. More like, okay, I can wrap my head around it, but like, I mean, the fact that you're opening up walls and stuff like that is nuts. So a big part of this is great planning up front. You get everybody on the same page and you're able to basically go in there, knock it out. I imagine in 5.5 days, there's probably not too many change orders because you're moving so quickly that it's like.
Well, and here's one of the things that we do to make sure that we don't run into change orders is that through our design process, we make sure we answer every single question and get to every single detail. If there's a change order that happens during the construction, then we did something wrong. And most people don't look at it that way. Other contractors look at it, it's just another way to make some more money.
Sure.
But for us, that's not the case at all. We're more about, are we going to be able to meet our timeline? And in order to do that, we can't have changes along the way.
Sure.
So we go through a very detailed, in-depth, just the way you guys did with us to learn about us. We're doing the same thing with our homeowners to be sure that there's no change order that's going to come down the pipe that's going to slow us down.
Sure.
Because we got another job to get to. Just like the way your dad used to run his pond company. Every week for us, we start on a Monday, we're done on Saturday. Next one, the next Monday. So we're just rolling through it. And even though jobs are different, the steps to completing a job are basically the same. So we're just doing the same process over and over again. Once you kind of get it nailed down and formalized, like an SOP, then you can run with it.
It's like muscle memory, honestly.
Yeah.
Now it's just like muscle memory. Yeah.
And when you first approach this, how do you get subs on board for this? Because like that to me, I mean, the hardest part of business is people, at least from my perspective, you know, like it's, I'm in this group called EO and basically, you know, I meet with like these other business owners and no matter what problem it is, whether you own a logistics company, a marketing agency, a kitchen remodeling company, it is always the people is like the big thing. And with you guys, you know, having tradespeople and subs that you have to work with, I mean, people have emotions and people have ways that they want to do it. So like, was it difficult to get them to buy in?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of trial and error to find the right team. But the key to it as well is a lot of these subs, they get treated like second-class citizens by other general contractors. And these GCs will lean on them to fund their project, stretch them out. And that's something that we just won't do. Everybody gets their invoices paid, they get paid fast, and that's what keeps them coming back. It's easy for them too. It's the ease of doing business with us that makes it so good for them.
Sure.
They know they got a project. They know they got a project a week. All they got to do is show up and do it.
Yeah.
And they get paid fast. We treat everybody like family. It really is a family dynamic with all of us. Like, we miss each other when we haven't seen each other for a job or two. So it's hard. We've fired a lot of people. But once there's people who will understand what you're trying to do. And if you get them on board, then that makes the train easier to navigate for sure.
And I can imagine, like, you guys brought up like the happiness aspect of like the subs of like, that was one of the guys that ended up buying my dad out for his business. He was an architect prior to coming and doing the pond thing. And he said, as an architect, he was like, I would work on plans for 6 months and then I'd submit them, and maybe they go with my plans, maybe they go with somebody else's. And I felt as if every 6 months was like a new cycle, and I never get to see stuff come to fruition. But in the pond world, every Friday or every other Friday, you're just waiting to see, are they going to cry or not?
Right.
They're going to be happy, but it's more like, are they going to be emotional? Because like, it's like a tenth of the pond people build a pond as like a ceremonial thing for somebody that passed. So like, it is high emotion when
it's very tangible too.
Yeah.
Just like a kitchen is very tangible.
Yeah.
You can touch it, you can feel it, and it does elicit emotions. We just did a photo videography shoot with the bars last night, and you could tell talking to them, their kitchen elicited feelings. It made them feel really good, And so when you're there talking with people and just chit-chatting, you can feel how good this new environment makes them feel. It's just wonderful. But it is something that they can touch and feel and see every day, interact with. It's the heart of the home. And when you throw a party, where does everybody end up? The kitchen. So,
and now they had a hell of a story of like, because usually people walk in and they go, this is a great kitchen. And they're like, well, let me tell you about how this thing was made. And now it's like, hey, let me tell you how this thing was made.
Exactly.
So I guess when you're like in the sales process, like how much are you balancing? Like, what are you looking for with like in your head, okay, process wise, can we still hit all that in 7 days? Like, are they trying to go for a triple island and that's a pain in the butt to do? Like, I guess like,
we get those. We get some really ambitious projects. Some of them we say no to. A lot of them we say yes to. So not every single project we do is a 7-day kitchen.
Sure.
Some can be longer.
Okay. And when you say longer,
we're talking about like maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
Our longest
like 2 weeks total, right?
Yeah. Our longest job is start Monday, and by the second Friday we're done.
Okay, so same thing like in the pond world where it's like, okay, and that would be like a big project for you guys. So if somebody wants you to come in and blow everything out and do like
master bath,
kitchen. Usually it's an add-on.
Yes.
It's usually an add-on. So we're doing a kitchen and a master, a kitchen and a laundry room, a kitchen and a master and 2 guest bathrooms. I mean, sometimes it turns into almost a whole house remodel. Those are going to take us a little bit longer.
And when you have somebody that wants to add in a couple bathrooms, same process, same everything. Now it's just, hey, we have another space to do, but we're still doing the whole remove the gaps, stack it, plan out everything ahead of time really well.
Yep. Bathrooms are a little bit more difficult because it's just limited space.
Sure.
There's only so many grown men you can put into a bathroom, especially a guest bathroom. There's only so much they'll take.
Sure.
Before it just gets hard to manage. So we do allow a little bit more flex time on bathrooms, but not on kitchens.
Sure.
There's not a minute that goes by that work's not getting done in the kitchen.
Got it.
Because there's plenty of space. We can have 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in there working.
What do you do if somebody's like, they have the flu? Like, do you then just say, hey, we got to stop? Like, I guess, like, what
We'll
happens?
back up.
You go, okay.
No, we've got people who are prepared. Also, our project manager is very skilled. He did kitchens
okay.
for how long before he?
20 years.
20 years.
okay.
So if
There's not some kid out of college
It's
that
not
like
some
has
kid out
a
of college.
construction management degree.
I got one of those.
he's the assistant.
I got one of those. You see a assistant.
Okay.
We got a real world experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so that's kind of our backup. Like An mentioned, that is our backup. The project manager himself. There's nothing that he can't physically do himself if he needed to.
Sure. And then he is the assistant that like something happens, you got to go back to Lowe's. That way he's not getting pulled off the job.
Correct.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, from like a brand positioning standpoint, how many kitchens had you done until you said, we're going to go all into this and make you call it 7-day kitchens?
That's a good question. How many kitchens was that? It wasn't a lot. Probably 7, 8 kitchens. And then we're like, we got something here.
Sure.
And then that's when we took that concept, we shut down the exterior remodeling business and went all in on kitchens. So brand new company, brand new brand. We focused just on kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Sure, we do some bathrooms.
Sure, yeah.
And we're kitchen specialists.
Right.
And so we niched down to that. And then having our unique selling proposition as part of our name
Mm-hmm.
really gets a lot of attention for us. And I would say for young contractors who are trying to start their own business, consider name their company something different than last name construction company.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Take your ego out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta take your ego out of it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody.
No,
Like,
that's
it
right.
doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
If you love your
Yeah.
DMs, like nobody else does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe your wife does. Maybe she doesn't. You know.
Well, I know that's the thing that we used to deal with, like on the branding side. So we used to do like branding at CGN. We tried it out for like an 8-month period, and we realized like basically if you go into somebody's brand, and unless they're the ones with the idea that says this is what I want, this is kind of what I'm thinking, and then it's your job to basically just visualize it. Otherwise, we're coming in going, hey, Gant Design Build. First off, Gant like the chart, Gant like the last table. What does that mean? Design build of what? Is it remodeling? Is it software? And then, but I'm coming in going, that's not a good name. And I'm basically telling you that your child is ugly. You know? And nobody wants to hear that. So,
Nobody wants to hear
so they're going, fine, if you want to rename my child, you do it. But I mean, unless we come up with like the most perfect name in their head, it is a pain. So for you coming in going 7-day kitchens, I mean, that's so easy to understand. It's easy to market because if somebody goes, well, what do you do and how do you do it? It's basically we do kitchens in 7 days, you're in, you're out, and that's it.
Yeah. People will call us just because they saw the name.
Uh-huh.
They're like, we couldn't even believe it. We just had to call you, invite you over just because we're interested in the kitchen. And if this is true, we're interested in working with you.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some homeowners say, it's either you guys or nobody.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we're going through an 8 to 12 week project and having to leave the house at the same time. So I think what's really infuriating for homeowners is when they have to leave the home, but they have what you experienced. 3 or 4 days, nothing happened, but they're out of the house and they're gone somewhere. You know, you think about where would you rather be? You'd rather be in a hotel room somewhere, or would you rather be at home in your own bed? Well, GCs are stealing that time away from customers too, you know?
Well, that was, because I know we kind of got linked up in like Kyle Hunt's group, but like I did like I did a presentation for them when they were here, I don't know, last year. And I was basically explaining like your weekend when you're at home with your family, we're still in the construction zone. Like we are still living it. So like, you know, you look at this as like, yeah, this project is 8 weeks long, but for us, it is now 56 days. So it is consecutive back to back to back where, yes, there's no banging today, but you know, like, and I have a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old at home, and like our 2-year-old halfway through this edition, at first he loved the workers. Now he is petrified of the workers. I think he saw somebody on stilts doing drywall. And now if we go anywhere, it is workers, stilts, no stilts, I jump out, boo. So like now we're like, sequestering our 2-year-old away from the workers, and like our PM's
He's
like,
traumatized.
he is, yeah. He's like, and our PM's like, what do I do? Like, should I, like,
Yeah.
you know, and we're like, you just got to get through it. Like, just give us a heads up. Like, if they're going to be, you know, invasive in the house today, but otherwise, like, that's what's happening. And like, and if you do this thing in 7 days, you don't have that because they're leaving, or, you know, they only deal with it for 7 days. Maybe they bring it back up in therapy later, but
Well, I mean, you can handle almost anything with a week. You can go on a bad vacation with somebody, or you can go on vacation with somebody maybe you didn't really know and you thought was cool, and you go on vacation with them, and all of a sudden you get to know them and you're like, oh my God, I got to spend 7 days with this person. Well, you can do 7 days.
Sure.
Right? People can put up with pain for a small amount of time, but when you start to stretch that time out, it's hard. It's extremely difficult. We've all gone through it, and why would we want to put somebody in that position?
Sure. From like a business perspective, like I'd imagine this like a big shift in the business model, especially go from exterior to interior. I mean, that's a big shift, let alone now, you know, outside you have a week of snow like what we had, you know, a couple weeks ago. That would have totally derailed everything. And then you got to call all your clients back up. And if you give them a hard deadline, now you're very dialed in. So like, can you talk about, I guess, just from a what you had to unlearn and relearn operationally to make this thing happen?
Man, that's a lot to unpack for sure.
Yeah.
Right there. You know, it took us a while. We had to be committed to the idea. It was easy to say this is impossible, but we had to be committed to the idea. We knew it could be done, and I think that's what it takes when you come up with a unique product or a unique service. Someone had a commitment to an idea to see that through. Everybody on that side of the business changed. None of the subs came over. I everything was brand new. So I had to learn new subs. We had to learn how they worked. We had to get them on board. You know, we're still developing our process. So there's a lot. I mean, we're still going through now building foundational pieces like CRM systems and things like that to make sure it's all working.
Is that scary?
It is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I had 10 years in Gant Design and Build, and here I am. I was on the cusp of just shutting that down and starting something brand new. And yeah, that's scary as hell. But it's the single best business decision I've ever made, without a doubt.
The second one was hiring.
Yeah. Well, it was a 1-2. Yeah. It was a 1-2 punch. Because I see it like in some of these like Facebook groups where somebody's like, screw it, I've had it, I quit my job, I'm gonna start my own construction company. How do I get leads? How do I get work? By the way, I've got 4 young kids at home and I need to make this thing work. And I'm like, oh man, like I would not have done that. Like I would have, you know, I would have had I would have done something that at least set you up with like some savings, at least to start that. So like, you know, I know for me, I started this company, I had a long distance girlfriend and that was it. You know, I had no responsibilities. So, and I knew I had like 6 months of savings, and if it didn't work out, I at least can live on that and then go, I gave it a good try. It just didn't work. So like I went into it with a very different mindset of like 25, 26, I can basically work as much as I want to make this thing work. I didn't have to be home at 5 to go to like a kid's soccer game and stuff like that. So I'd imagine from like a fear perspective, because you're also along for the ride as well. Because if this doesn't work out, it's not just Barry that is, you know, dealing with it. On now also is in the same scenario. So like when he comes to you, how are you feeling about this? Freaked out?
Great.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
at the time,
I have a lot of faith.
Sure.
Barry.
Okay.
I do. I've known him. I was best man at his wedding. I have a lot of faith in him. He's a smart guy. Do I think all his decisions are right? No.
Sure.
But we talk a lot. He's open to hearing, right? A lot of people aren't. He will listen to what you have to say. He'll consider it and then have a conversation about it.
Sure.
And he's open to being wrong. He's open to doing to do whatever he needs to do to move to that next level. And I see that dedication in him, and I'm not worried at all. I worry more, honestly, about when people see 7-day kitchens, they just don't believe it could happen, so they just skip over us. That's my biggest concern, honestly.
And let's talk about that. So I know we are just the how, but like you've also got bath fitters and like companies like that where it's like in a day, I remember growing up watching those commercials, basically just relining the bathtub and that's about it. You know, my grandma would get that. I wouldn't get that. But the kitchens that you guys do, they're great. Like that was like one of the first things was like, we got to prove that this stuff is legit. This is not, you know, a small cosmetic update. We're going from, you know, ugly to less ugly. Like these are
not a bunch of just cheap. You got a choice between A and B cabinets and A and B handles, and we prepackage it. It's nothing like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if
It's completely custom.
Completely custom. And if that's one thing that we can get across to people, that yes, we curate things, right? Because if you don't, people will just go off and they'll just take forever, right? We've found some things that work for a lot of people.
Sure.
Just like anybody else does. Every kitchen remodel does this because you have to drive people through the process.
Sure.
Right? But if they don't want to use a sink, say that we have, they can choose another sink. That's quite okay. So it is a custom kitchen. They're really, really, really nice. They look really good. And it's not just prefab crap.
right.
We do it in 7 days, like we talked about earlier, just taking all the gaps out. Anybody that's ever done construction or remodeled a house or done anything like that, and I've remodeled a bunch of houses, I really want to try to apply what he's doing here to full gut remodels. We've discussed that. Because now that I've seen this done, I'm like, well, why can't that be done? That's how much I believe in this.
How would you do that? Because like to me, I mean, my house is 1946. So like it is, as we've now gone through 2 remodels, you know, both additions, but you know, 2 remodels, there's been a lot of like, hey, we didn't necessarily account for this is behind this wall, or like the joists, or like this is now we have to like redo this one section. So like, do you think, I mean, I'm sure you'd have a little bit more wiggle room on like, you know, what the timeline would be on stuff, but like, do you think you could go into like a 2,500 square foot house and basically within 10% get a deadline in of like, I think we can knock this whole thing out in 25 days?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we just did it. It was basically a whole house remodel, all new flooring, hardwood flooring throughout, a new stair system, all fresh paint, brand new kitchen, brand new mudroom, brand new master, brand new powder. I mean, the whole house. They were getting quotes of 6 months.
How long did it take you?
It took us 3 weeks.
That's crazy. And how do you, because like, okay, in my addition, they just had to stain the floors. There's dry time that like, you know, unless you're in there with like leaf blowers just constantly like doing that. I mean, like, is that something that I'm guessing you bake that into your process of knowing paint's got to dry, we can't force it.
Yeah. We know the hardwoods are going to take an extra 5 days.
Sure. So do you then end up playing around, like, I guess if you go into that project, are you going, all right, what are the big constraints? Okay, we know hardwoods are going to take 5 days, so let's knock that out and then get everything around it. I guess, like, how do you approach?
Well, we've done, so right now, we've done so many kitchens that we already know what the potential possibilities are for a problem. And we're already prepared for it. So, for example, oftentimes the plumbing for a sink needs to be lowered to accommodate the new deep sink plus a disposal. So you got to lower that plumbing in the wall. We just factor that in. There's no problem that we haven't ever seen that we haven't already overcome 100 times. So anything we run into, because we're specialists, anything we run into in a kitchen, we've already overcome it. We don't have to sit there and scratch our heads and think about this way or that way. The tradesperson will do it the way it needs to be done.
Sure.
And there's very few hiccups in kitchens.
It's so funny because like a kitchen is as a remodeler, if you listen to this, like, it's intricate, but if you're not, like, it is intricate. There's so much stuff that can go wrong. It almost sounds like your brain is just a bunch of like if-then statements of like, if they want a lower sink, then we need to drop the plumbing down. If they want this, then this needs to happen. Like, what is like, you had an exterior remodeling company. What is your background before that? Like, how do you then go from, I'm going to be this basically exterior, contractor, to now I'm going to create the assembly line, custom assembly line, if you will, for this interior project? Because that's like a different mindset to frame it.
It is, but it's not. It's just about a process.
Yeah.
No matter what you apply it to, you're just focused on how to do whatever that project is in the least amount of time, or bake in enough time to overcome any potential problems. And that's no different than even on the exterior side. But no matter what you do on the exterior side, you can't overcome Mother Nature.
Sure.
Period. So that's why on the interior side for us, it was a no-brainer to go full in, because we knew we could control a schedule.
Sure.
And that, just being able to do that has been, has impacted my life in a way that's like hard to describe. Because now I'm not worrying about when are we going to be able to get back to a job.
Yeah.
I'm just counting down the 5 to 7 days it takes to get one done.
Sure.
And it's the mindset, I think, is the same for anybody in this industry, should be to focus in on a process and how to make that process better.
Sure.
No matter what it is. And then, of course, I think if you are in remodeling, but you can specialize in something, be the best at the kitchen or the bathroom, or maybe it's basements or whatever, ADUs, which is an interior. But I think construction companies often look at these projects and don't think about how they could be the best at the one thing.
Sure.
And that's what we're trying to do. How can we be the best kitchen remodeler? Period. Not the best general contractor.
Right.
Not the best commercial construction guy. Because for them, every job they run into is something new and different, and they're learning. For us, it's the same job every time. We've already learned it.
Sure.
We've already learned it. We've already done it. And that's the benefit from profit efficiency, from management efficiency, is that if you have a system that you can follow every time, it's hard to mess it up.
Yeah.
It really is. However, if you're doing a custom build every time you go do a project, you're going to run into things you didn't think about.
Yeah. And that's something like I know, like here at CGM, like we like niche down into just going, all right, we're just doing remodeling. I've learned over the years that I'm like the visionary, and I'm a typical one where I'm like, we could solve all these problems with all these service. I used to, like 4 years ago, if you came to us, it was like, we could basically do, as long as you were a home service provider, we could do it. And then we have full service, whether it's Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, email, brand, like all the direct mail, you name it. Right. It was like, we could do it all. And the whole premise was basically like, if we do all these things, something has to work. So we're going to do that. And at the time, it made total sense. I didn't realize it. And now it's like, great, we're just really going to go in on two main things: website and SEO. And now with the AI search stuff, it makes it much, basically SEO and AI search piggybacks off of each other. But like, I was just thinking about it this morning before you guys came in, like the amount of like how deep we're able to go with a lot of this SEO stuff now is like, can we test this? Can we try this? Hey, can we automate this one thing? There's no way we could do it if we did that for multiple industries. And there's definitely no way we could do that if we did it for multiple like product offerings. And it sucks from a sales perspective, because we do get that of like, well, I'm looking for full service, and we basically had to relearn how do you sell against that and go, well, you could do that. Here's the plus side of us. Here's the plus side of them. Here's the downside of us, but here's also the downside of them. You got to kind of pick your pros and cons here. So are you guys getting people that come into you that are like, I want this, 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 and this, and you realize that, hey, this is just too custom, too unique, too much, that you're just kind of going like, because I know you brought up before, not everybody's our client. Like, I guess who is not a client that like they want a quadruple waterfall island from, Indonesia.
We get those.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to a gut feeling.
Yeah.
It's not whether or not we can accomplish the job, because I know we can. It's, can we accomplish the job and have a happy customer, and will we all be happy at the end? Because not every customer is a customer that you want.
Sure.
But kind of going back to something you said before, when you were, just building up CGN and you guys decided to niche down, I had the same problem. I had a mentor that says, just say yes to everything. And so I did. Customer asked me for something. I said, yeah, we'll do it, whatever it is. But that just made us just like handyman. We weren't the best at any one thing.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of commitment to do what you did, and niche it down and say no to people.
Yeah.
It's hard to do because as business owners, salespeople, we want to make that sell. We want to make that sell. But at the end of the day, once you realize that a sale can hurt you on the next 3 sales, then you start to get it. Like, okay, I just stay focused. It's all going to work out.
Yeah. I've once it finally clicked for me, it also was, yes, from a sales and marketing perspective, it made it easier, but it was also like, okay, now the team just has to get trained on one thing. That's it. They don't have to know, like James Hardy. Don't even think about that. Get that name out of your head. We don't need, there's none of that. So now just, if they say chief architect, this is what it is. So it just makes it so much easier to get everybody rowing in the same direction. It's one training model. It allows you to go deeper and be more of the experts the same way that if they go, hey, I now want to, drop my sink down, you have a full understanding of like, great, here's the 4 other things that will have to happen if that thing happens, versus you may not be thinking about that. So like from a training perspective, I'd imagine it's so dialed in that like if something happens to the PM, now you have your stuff so well laid out that it's easy to bring somebody else in, and it's not like you got to spend 5 years learning all about how construction works in every single type of house with every type of project. So from a training perspective, I'd imagine it makes it way easier.
Yes,
It does.
it does. Well, and part of it too is we only use a tradesperson for their trade. For example, my tile guy, he does tile 24/7, 365. That's all he does. He doesn't do tile and electrical work. Doesn't do tile and plumbing. Doesn't do, so all of our tradespeople, they come in and they execute their specialty, which is, again, it's more efficient. It compresses that timeline. And if you let them do what they're really good at, you don't have to train them so much. And then, getting the rest of the team on board with what we're doing, it's usually just like with it's just overcoming some disbelief. Even our designer, Michelle McHenry, she does an amazing job, but even when I approached her, she was like, you say so.
Yeah.
If you say you can do jobs in 7 days, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you're paying me to do design work, I'm good. She didn't really care. But now that she's been with us, now she buys in fully, and now she's a committed leader on our team. Like, she buys into the whole system.
Sure. And I bet
it's easy to do when you see everybody so happy with you.
I was gonna say, yeah, I bet it's cool. Like the subs probably now, because like they're used to then seeing the same crew back to back, that like they probably have their own friendships there. So it's
They say karaoke.
Oh yeah.
We've had a couple of comments about that. I think somebody even put it in the Google review. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys, they'll turn on the radio, they'll start singing.
They have a good time.
They have a good time.
Yeah.
For them, it's being in the construction industry and being a tradesperson, it's got to be one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
And being able to see these guys flourish, these men and women flourish under what we're doing, is really, it's just the feel goods are all around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're hoping to build this into a franchise where we can help other young tradespeople build a business that they can support their family with.
Who would be like, let's say somebody comes in, they want to franchise this thing. Do you think you could take somebody who's a normal GC or remodeler, or they have 20 years of doing it the way that everybody does it, and they could come in and go, all right, I'm going to remove all those beliefs and now buy into this? Or do you feel like, which is basically what you did, or do you think it's easier to take somebody that is younger? You know, I've been approached by a couple of people coming out of like business school that say, hey, I know this is what you do. Do you have anybody that wants to sell? I know that remodeling is a tougher, not as scalable as like HVAC, but I want to buy one of these businesses, which I'm like, you're crazy if you want to buy into this. Like, if your goal is really scalability, it is not in this industry.
Yeah. That's right.
So who in your mind, like, is it anybody could do it, or is it more like you gotta have like
Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
I'm not a tradesperson.
Uh-huh.
And it's my concept. But I think ultimately a carpenter is the right person.
Sure.
Someone who has some cabinet installation experience. They'll be the right person to take this, and with our assistance, we can build it up for them,
Yeah.
families.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when we're looking at the market here in Charlotte, how many kitchen remodels do you think happen in Charlotte in a given year?
Couple hundred? Is
About 7,000.
that what it is?
Yep.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of remodels. And if that happens here in Charlotte, that's happening all across the country.
Sure.
And there's lots of cities where a 7-day kitchen franchise could be
Sure.
with someone who has some carpentry skills, for sure. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I really think, me personally, I think it'd be super helpful if they did have carpenter skills. They definitely have to be bright and be ready to jump in and learn. But I think you could take somebody like with a 2-year degree,
Yeah.
right? Some of this mechanically minded, right? Even if they haven't done this, I really think you could take them. If you help them develop the right team, I think they could be successful too. Because it really isn't just about that one individual.
Yeah.
It's about the team that Barry's put together.
Sure.
Right? And now we know the characteristics of
Each one.
each one of those people.
Sure.
We know what to look for and we know what to avoid. And that's 99% of the problem. It's like you said earlier, it's people.
It's all
right?
people.
It's all people.
Yeah.
You get the right people in place, you're going to have a successful business.
Yeah.
It's the same way as the ICP works. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's we know what our sub characteristics should look like what kind of personality they should have, what their morals, ethics, and values are. If those align, then they work for us.
Like we don't, people who smoke, right? I don't care if you smoke. I'm not against smoking. Smoke all you want, but we're not going to hire somebody that smokes,
Sure.
right? Because we know we don't want somebody smoking on the job,
Yeah.
throwing butts on the job,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's just one little thing, right? But when you pile those things up, you can say, yeah, these are the things that we are looking for, and these are the things that we're not looking for.
Yeah.
And if you've been in construction, you've worked with a bunch of subs and you've remodeled houses or whatever you've done, you've worked with the worst people too, right? You've worked with some of those people that they're going to call in, they're unreliable, they say they're going to be there at whenever and they're not there, right? There's a lot of those people in the construction business because anybody can go buy a belt at Lowe's, put a hammer in it and call themselves a carpenter, right? It's pretty much all you have to do is look the part and
Sure.
talk the part sometimes, right? Now we've done it enough, we can see through all of that to the real individual behind it. And,
Yeah.
That's why I think putting together the right team with the right owner, that's the magic.
Yeah.
Personally. The rest of it's just process.
Yeah. That's cool. Because I feel like, if you're going to take this franchise, a lot of it happens to be like recruit the right people. Like you're going to have to know your ideal client profile. Same way that you talk about with the subs, like you're going after these types of homeowners, but then you're also going after these types of subcontractors. like what you said, there's like a running joke on Instagram where it's like TaskRabbit, which is they'll come out and do small projects for you. And it's like, basically they're saying like, you didn't hire us because we're an expert at hanging your TV. You hired us because we said we'd be willing to come out and do it at an hourly rate. Like some big difference there. Yeah. So yeah. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you feel like you would be remiss if I didn't bring it up?
No, there is. I want to just reinforce the fine point, because I feel like, and Barry and I have had these conversations over and over again, I feel like that what Barry has come up with is such a giant paradigm shift that it's not just hard for other remodelers to wrap their brain around. It's really hard for the rest of the world to wrap their brain around, because it's been done one way for so long, and now it's just not done that way. And people are like, that just can't be real, right? I just want to get that point across, that it's real. They're beautiful, custom kitchens. The people who go with us end up extremely happy. I just want to get that point across, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who just don't believe it's real.
Right.
That it can really happen. That we're going to do a bait and switch. Oh, it's 7 days. No, we didn't mean that. It's actually 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. When we say 7 days, it's 7 days. Look at our Google reviews. They're 5-star reviews. We're going to come in. If we think you will not give us a 5-star Google review, we haven't done our job. We need to do something else, right? That's the kind of work and commitment we have. It's the kind of work and commitment the team has. That's what everybody's working towards. So that's all I want to say.
That's cool. It's probably the first time that like, Henry Ford goes, we can make this assembly line thing a real thing. We can build a car where it's not custom every time, or like the bath fitters, when they first came out. Now, different demographic, different model.
Of course, but
same premises. That and that was the big thing of like when you guys first came to us. It was always, this sounds great. Assume that we can do it. We still got to show people like what you're gonna get. So it's not like this grandma's aging in place kitchen. It's a great kitchen, but it's also, these are some of the mechanisms, if you will, to then be able to prove, look, we will do these things along the way. We have a project manager that is going to camp out at your job site, so it's like, it's basically just spelling all of this stuff, because when I think of kitchen in 7 days, I think cheap, not custom, cosmetic, linoleum, like I'm hitting all like the negative buzzwords when that's not what you do at all. So a lot of it's just, let's prove it. And it's you could lose weight, lose 30 pounds in a week, and you're like, okay, well, I just gotta, I gotta get a stomach flu, and that's not what I do. That's not what you want. So yeah. Well, cool. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming in. This is really cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.